I bring you warm greetings from the birthplace of Starbucks Coffee, Washington. Thank you so much if you are a returning subscriber. I really appreciate you coming back. If you are new to this channel, thank you so much for stopping by. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share this channel. So as promised, this is the part 2 of the review of the first ever GRASAG-USA Congress that happened in Maryland and Washington. If you haven't seen the part 1, the link can be found in the description box of this video. Please use the link to see it so that you can have a full gist of everything that happened during the Congress. Welcome to day number 3 of the Congress. So the first session of the third day was a first aid CPR AED training and certification. CPR stands for cardiopulmonary resuscitation. It's an emergency treatment that is done when someone's breathing or heartbeat has stopped. And AED stands for automated external defibrillator. It's a portable device that is used to help someone who is experiencing a sudden cardiac arrest.
Baby, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Baby, not responding. Then at least do it so that you see how I'm doing. Baby, can you hear me? Not responding. Now, first compression, you count 1 to 10. So the first 13 counts, you introduce a syllable in because the first 13 counts is just a single syllable. So the rest is double. That one, it becomes easier for you. So it goes like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and 9 and 10 and 11 and 12 and 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Then you give your rest. So I'm going to do that right away. So it goes like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
First things first, put your arms out in front of you. All right, I'm gonna stand to the side of him. I'm gonna put my arm underneath and across to his opposite shoulder. Feel free to stand up if you need to see. Now I have a good stable position with my arm. I'm gonna strike him as hard as I can in between the shoulder blades. Don't actually hit him to death, just practice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits. Transition behind him. I'm gonna put one foot between his legs. Can you find your belly button? All right. I'll make a fist right above his belly button, other hand over top, and then 5 abdominal thrusts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, you made it. All right, and
After the first aid training session, it was time for lunch. So many varieties to choose from. Okay.
Yeah.
After lunch, the next session was in Washington, and we are walking to the bus to take us to Washington. this point, the boys were charged and they were showing drama. But I had to mute this part of the video due to copyright reasons. But I hope you can feel the vibe. Here we are in Washington at the National Museum of African American History and Culture. According to history, Washington was the capital of slavery and it served as a major depot for slave trade in USA.
Or you can call me Ya, I'm Thursday born, or MFI, whichever one. I used to live in Ghana. But welcome to the National Museum of African American History and Culture. It's one of many Smithsonian museums. But this one is dedicated to American history from an African American lens, okay? This is a very big museum. We won't get through all of it, but once we get inside, I'll give you a map. I'll tell you what the floors represent. For those of you who want kind of a chronological order of African American history, I can take you through that in one of the history galleries, but this is a very, very big museum. It's self-exploratory, but you can explore anywhere, okay? Or we can all gather together. It is very busy. It is always busy at this museum. So just be mindful of that. It also can be very crowded in certain spaces, so just make sure that you kind of pace yourself and everything like that, okay? That is the History Gallery. It gives a chronological order of African American history from slavery, like from Africa all the way until Obama becomes president, okay? If you turn it over, L2, L3, L4. L2 is more kind of exploratory. When I say exploratory, it's like screens that you can touch and interact with some of the objects. Community galleries is sports history, military history, and ways that African American communities made a way out of no way. When I say that, meaning they experienced discrimination, prejudice, all of that. So how were they able to build a community despite all of it?
guess you didn't know that Ghana was called Gold Coast. Gold Coast because of the country's richness in gold and other natural resources. After independence, the name was changed to Ghana.
Lawrence sold thousands of enslaved Africans in the 1750s. He gained influence as one of the wealthiest colonists and later became a prominent member of the Continental Congress. The wealth generated by slavery was enormous for nations as well. By 1833, when Great Britain abolished slavery, the country paid out roughly $2.4 billion in today's currency to compensate British slave owners. The transatlantic slave trade was built on profit and human suffering. Despite the harsh reality of the inhumanity of enslavement, enslaved people, forcibly dispersed throughout the Atlantic world, created something more. New connections, new cultures, and a rich African diaspora.
Free and enslaved Africans had more opportunity to build relationships and share information. On small rural farms, enslaved people often formed close relationships with American Indians and European survivors. They later built together. The dependency on slave labor spread across North America. Amsterdam, British colonies. The dependency on slave labor spread across North America, from Dutch New Amsterdam to the British colonies, as well as in French Louisiana and Spanish Florida. With the reliance on enslaved populations, new laws defined who was enslaved and who was free. By 1750, the system of slavery was racialized and had become more uniform. The law based slavery on African descent and made it hereditary and lifelong. This separated indentured Europeans and enslaved Africans. It created whiteness, and Africans became black in colonial North America. The race-based system of slavery was cemented into law. It was fundamental to the growing colonial economy and would prove instrumental to the founding of the United States.
Having access to now public spaces. Now they can go where they want to go without having to be heavily regulated. So this basically is an example of the dress at that time, the hat, the back. So it also signifies kind of respect, like I'm going to put on a nice dress, I'm going to be out in public, so kind of a little bit of respectability too. Just having pride in your dress. So like, you know, when I would talk about Ghana, I would tell people, I was like, look, Janae's put on their Sunday best to go to the doctor. Like, remember they stepped out, they going to church, they're going to the office, they like put on their best. You know, they don't put on what they're wearing to go farm or whatever. They put on their best. And this is similar, I think, similar to that. So now you have the dress. You want to, you know, basically prove that you are a kind of a human being. Basically, this constant proving that you're a human being. Living like you just have to prove all the time that you are a human being. That's what that was like. Just proving all the time. Being traded, the domestic slave trade. And so a lot of families put out a search to find like their brothers, their sisters, mothers, children, all of that. A lot of families started doing that.
What is that?
What is this?
Is that a single tree somewhere?
Yes. A massive migration connected lost family members. Many traveled in carts and buggies pulled by horses and mules with the help of a single tree like this. So yes.
What is it?
A way to pull. So carts and rights, or they would have memory. So like oral tradition was very big. So like oral tradition is big in Ghana. It was very big within the slave populations because how are they going to kind of document? And so sometimes they can get word. Maybe they knew who the family, who their person was sold to, and then maybe they can get word through other people. So there was ways that they can get word to other families and people to put out a search.
Human beings were seen as commodities. They did not own properties or states or anything. They have to fight for their freedom, which led to the Civil War. The Civil War was fought over the moral issue of slavery, but they were still not free. They now faced the era of segregation, where they were discriminated in terms of education, housing, and other public services that were available to the white people. So they started building states for themselves. These were some of the states that they built.
So when we think about the prison system in America, based on slavery, basically. South Carolina, no person of color shall migrate into or reside in this state unless within 20 days after his arrival within the same, he shall enter into a bond with two freeholders.
These were some of the women that played significant role in the fight for freedom from slavery. We know that there is a new nation, that is the new America. So let's see. The revolution's language of liberty influenced government policy. With the Northwest Ordinance, the new nation limited slavery by banning it in territories above the Ohio River, present-day Ohio, Indiana, and Illinois. This act created the nation's first federally guaranteed free territory. The region became home to many free black communities. We also visited the music gallery where we saw the history of some musical instruments and some music like jazz, country music, and there was beautiful tunes were being played over here. From there, we went to the Washington Monument that was built in honor of the first president of US, George
In the evening,
Washington.
we had the dinner and the closing ceremony. It started with some games, karaoke session, and the others. We were also honored to have the presence of the first female ambassador to the US, Her Excellency Hajia Alima Mahama, coming to grace the occasion.
Oh, did I tell you that the founder of GRASAG USA is a female? Meet Dr. Juliet, the founder of GRASAG USA, giving us some insights.
What were the struggles like when you started the organization?
I think on a personal level, the struggles involved, we do excellent work. And so if you're here, puts your mind to something, you can do a very excellent job. And I think the team was excellent. I mean, when we thought of putting a website together, like Jojo and Kojo just did it in
YouTube. There's YouTube there.
They just did it. And everything was just moving real fast. We're having weekly meetings, and it was as if we've been paid to do it.
Yeah, having weekly meetings. But to conclude that section, for me, it was an opportunity to reflect, to realize that no matter as you navigate through your career, through education, you should always
dedication have brought us to this remarkable day. The formation of this association is a testament to your commitment to academic excellence, cultural solidarity, and mutual support, and indeed, your patriotism and love for Ghana. Your hard work and determination have built a strong and vibrant community of graduate students, Ghanaian graduate students, capable of making impactful contributions both here in the United States and back home in Ghana. The achievements of this association thus far are nothing short of exemplary.
Oh my god, this is my favorite part. It's time to eat Ghanaian authentic meals.
brings us to the end of the Congress and this vlog. Thank you so much for being on this journey with me. I really appreciate your time. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, comment and share this channel. Also remember to turn the notification bell on so that you can be updated on interesting, informative and of course educative content coming your way. Till then, in the meantime, for the time being, it is bye for now. Remember, all we have is now. See you soon.